But in this case, he didn't care. He was like, nah, I can't breathe. Forget that. I'm through. So he left. And so oh wow, my mom is laying down on the couch. And so in the distance, in the far recesses of the city of Toledo, we can hear the sirens of the Lucas County, Toledo Fire Department or whatever coming. And based on where we lived, I would assume that the engine would probably be coming from the corner of Franklin and Bancroft, right across the street from Bancroft-Franklin Plaza. Okay? And so that's a good distance away for them to not get there like in the next 1 minute. But it's close enough for us to hear the sirens at the moment that they activated. So we hear them in the distance coming. And that is the moment that my mother decided to awaken from her stupor. And not to say, okay, they're on their way, let's go outside and wait for them to arrive and help us. Instead, my mother says, she gets up slow, and we standing in the living room looking at, okay, Mama, the fire department is on their way here. She said, I know one thing. Before they get here, somebody better get their behinds in that kitchen and wash those dishes. She said, somebody better get in that kitchen and wash those dishes before the fire department gets here. Okay, what? You mean to tell me that with the mattress on fire and now our whole house is full of smoke and it's becoming very difficult for us to breathe, let alone walk around and talk in here, and you want somebody to go in there and do what? Wash the dishes. And she made that face. And so I'm like, Mama! And see, let me explain something. Let me explain. We lived in the old West End, fairly full, house full of wood. Wooden fireplace, wooden door, wooden frames, wooden boarding, baseboard, wood in the moldings, okay? And in the summertime, during times of high humidity, the wood would expand and cause certain things to be a little bit more tight. And in this particular case, the door jamb and the door expanded to a point to where it was very difficult to open and shut the door successfully, the front door. Therefore, we put a note on the front door requiring that any visitor that came to our house would go and use the back door. And for whatever reason, there could be multiple reasons. A lot of black folks just had a sign on their door say, go around the back, go on the back. And so in this case, we did. And the fire department too, they were not any exception. They had to use the back door also. But the problem was, in this particular case, was that the kitchen was the first thing that they would see upon entering our house. And due to the problem with that my mom was having with her depression or whatever, and me, my brothers just basically dodging our chores on that particular day, the kitchen was messed up. Okay? And see, my mother is a very neat, particular person, a neat freak, OCD type neat, okay? And so it is very rare that you should ever find her kitchen looking any kind of way except spick and span. But on this day, the kitchen was messed up. But in her mind, that was more important than getting all of us out of the house. She did not want anybody to see it. Even firemen who would probably never see her again, ever again in her entire life. Or if they did, they wouldn't recognize her because they see so many people on a daily basis. She would rather that they not see her kitchen because she was somehow afraid that they was going to think something about her because her kitchen was dirty. So let me believe me when I tell you, she didn't just say it that one time. It seemed as if the closer and closer the fire department came, the louder the sirens got, she got more and more adamant about it and more angry about it. And she was like, and to the point, to eventually she was like, somebody better get in that kitchen and wash them dishes before the fire department get here. Me and my brothers looked at her. I was like, man, you gotta be crazy. And she was like, you better get your butt in there and wash them dishes before they get here. I want you at least standing at the sink and then acting like you wash them when they get here. So they won't think that my kitchen be looking like that. mama said that, man. She said that. And so I said, okay, all right. But I'm going to tell you right now, when them firemen get in here and they see me standing in that kitchen, they're going to dang near cuss me out and tell me I need to go. Lo and behold, this is crazy. I can't believe I'm still tripping about this. Lo and behold, my brothers go outside first. My mother go outside. She leaves me in the house standing in front of the sink. And I'm like, I'm 16 years old. I'm like, man, I ain't got to wash no damn dishes. I'm going to sit here and just stand here and look like I'm washing dishes. Just like she said, I ain't about to do nothing. So I stand there in front of the sink. And I have my arms folded. And like I said, the fireman came in here. He looked around. He was like, what you doing? Get outside. You said there's a fire in your house? And I said, yeah, at the top of the steps, first bedroom on your left, there's a mattress in there that's on fire. And so I go out the back door, and I walk around in front of the house, and remember I told you, the front door doesn't work. There's a fire engine sitting in front of our house. Fulton Elementary School has just dismissed. All the parents are lined up on the street to pick up their kids. But traffic is at a standstill because of the big old fire engine sitting in front of our house. And our street is a one-way street, so nobody can turn around and do anything. They have to just sit there. And it's a fairly narrow street that allows parking on one side. So the only available space that exists on the street to go through is a space that is occupied by the fire engine that is sitting directly in front of our house. And what are we doing? The people at 324 Melrose, we're sitting on the porch in chairs watching the cars that are stuck in traffic, and the occupants thereof are watching us, and they know that the fire department is at our house. They know it. The fire siren is still going, and they're looking at us like, what the heck are they doing? Ain't the fire department at their house? But they sitting on a porch? And Tasha's sitting up there with a hoodie and sunglasses on, her legs crossed. Like ain't nothing happening? And yes, that's exactly how we were sitting. We were just sitting there like, what the heck you looking at, man? What you looking at? On the porch, fire department in our house. I don't even know what to say about that, but that was just totally bizarre and insane. So, we hear this big plump, right? And so we walk around the back of the house, and what happened was the firemen got in the house, and they chopped up the mattress while it was still in the house, and then threw it out the window, okay? And yes, it was on fire. It was by the time it got outside, it was completely burnt up. And if it would have stayed in the house, we hadn't called the fire department, our house would have caught on fire. And somebody could have died. And thank God nobody was asleep. But I guess the reason I'm sharing this story is because it is just crazy to me that my mother would do that and try to make us wash dishes. But don't think that this is an isolated incident. Mama is still like that about a lot of stuff. She went off on us one time when we were teenagers, probably around the same time. Because, she put cocoa butter on her face. And her skin is beautiful because of it. And she uses a cocoa butter stick that smells like chocolate. And I used to think the thing stank because who want to put something on their face that had them walking around smelling like chocolate all day? I never bothered with that thing. I didn't care anything about it. Neither did my brothers. But one time she misplaced it because she was being forgetful, I guess, at the moment. And she asked us if we saw it and we didn't see it. And she went on to accuse us of stealing it. She was like, somebody got it and ain't saying nothing. Just going off. She's still like that. She still do stuff like that. And I'm not disrespecting my mother. My mother is adorable. I love her. But she is OCD. And I'm not saying that seriously because she's not. But she can be so obsessive about stuff and just bug the heck out of you about stuff and the most bizarre things at that. And in this particular case, washing the dishes while the house is on fire. And see, that's what I told her. I was like, Mama, why you want me to wash the dishes when the house is on fire? She said, girl, the house ain't on fire. You get your butt in there and wash the dishes before them fire people get here. Insane.